A toast, Rose said, her voice gliding like silk dipped in venom. To the loser who signs the checks but will never be my real lover. Laughter rippled through the dining hall, low, cruel, indulgent. Wine glasses clinked. I smiled, the kind that doesn't touch the eyes. 15 years of marriage, and she'd finally said aloud what I'd only heard whispered in her sighs. I didn't move, didn't blink, just let the sound wash over me, cold and heavy. Her father sat at the end of the table, swirling his scotch, eyes darting between us. He laughed too, but softer, like he wasn't sure if he should. My hand rested on the mahogany table, near the small velvet keychain I'd carried in my pocket for months. Not yet. The candles flickered, catching the diamond on her wrist, the one I bought for her promotion dinner, the one she said was too big, too obvious. She was radiant tonight, almost convincing, almost. When the waiter poured another round, I saw her slip a look across the table, a glance, subtle, fast, toward him, the marketing director, younger, arrogant. He raised his glass in return, and that was all I needed. I'd suspected for months, little things, perfume she didn't wear for me, unlocked phone screens turned away when I entered, trips that ran late. At first I dismissed them as paranoia. You don't spend 15 years with someone without learning their tells. Or maybe you do, and that's the problem. Once I found a receipt, a hotel stay, her name, 2 guests. I told myself it was business, that she deserved privacy, that marriage required trust. But trust isn't blind, it's chosen blindness, and I'd chosen it too long. That night after the party, she fell asleep beside me, perfume still heavy on her neck. I watched the rise and fall of her chest and wondered when exactly love had turned into endurance. At 3 a.m., I unlocked her phone. The code hadn't changed. Messages filled the screen. Him. He's too dull to notice. You're wasted on him. Her. He pays for everything. Let him. I scrolled until the words blurred. And then I stopped caring how deep the rot went. I only needed to know how far it spread. The next week, I moved with precision. No accusations, no drama, just quiet observation. I followed patterns, phone calls, credit card charges, subtle changes in her wardrobe. I became invisible in my own life, a ghost taking notes. I met the hotel manager she used for business trips, slipped him an envelope. Within days, I had dates, signatures, room logs. Her lover checked in under an alias, Evan Green. I traced his name, found nothing, until I realized the alias wasn't his, it was her father's. That was the first crack. I kept digging. Emails, bank transfers, a shell account linked to her father's company. Money moved quietly, sums that didn't belong to her salary. And then, one folder, hidden. Inside, documents with my signature, forged. She'd been siphoning money from my firm. Her father's company was the front. The lover? A financial courier, laundering the trail. It wasn't about love, it was business. Always had been. Each night I smiled through dinner, her laughter cutting through me like glass. Each morning I kissed her cheek, my lips cold against her skin. Inside, I counted days, prepared documents, moved assets. She thought she was clever. She thought I was in love. She wasn't wrong, just too late. The night of the anniversary dinner arrived, our 15-year mark. She chose the restaurant, private, expensive, surrounded by friends and family. She raised her glass, smiled like a queen. A toast, she said, to the loser who signs the checks. The laughter burned, but I stayed still. The waiter set the dessert plates. That was my cue. I reached into my jacket and placed the small velvet keychain on the table. A single key, gold-plated. Attached, a folded note. Her father saw it first. His eyes narrowed, then widened. He picked it up, unfolded the paper, read the words, and went pale. "Rose," he whispered, voice trembling. "Tell me you didn't." The table went silent. The kind of silence that doesn't come from confusion, but recognition. She looked at him, then at me. Her smile faltered. "What is this?" I leaned back. "The key to the storage unit in your father's name. The one holding the boxes labeled Green Enterprises. You know, the one used to store the forged contracts?" Her hand trembled. "You?" "Yes," I said quietly. "I know." I didn't raise my voice, didn't move closer, just let the silence stretch, like a wire pulled to breaking point. Her father's face drained of color. "You used my company?" he said, barely audible. "You used my name?" Rose reached for him, but he recoiled as if her touch burned. I pushed a small envelope across the table. "Copies," I said, "signed statements, transaction logs, everything tied to your accounts. I sent the originals to your auditors this morning." Her fork clattered to the plate. "You wouldn't!" I smiled. "I already did." She looked around, friends, colleagues, her father, all staring, not at me, at her. For the first time in years, I felt weight leave my chest. Not relief, not joy, just emptiness. I stood, buttoned my jacket. "Enjoy the meal," I said. "It's already paid for." Her father was still staring at the key, his hands shaking. I turned and walked out into the cold evening air, leaving the laughter, the whispers, and the ruins of a marriage behind me. I drove without destination. The night felt strangely clean. In the mirror, city lights smeared across the glass like old memories refusing to fade. For 15 years, I'd lived in the illusion of love, a theater built on silence and routine. But tonight, I'd burned the stage. No shouting, no tears, just truth laid bare. Some betrayals deserve no vengeance, only exposure. At a red light, I took off my wedding ring, placed it beside me. A circle, perfect and meaningless. The light turned green. I didn't look back, and for the first time in 15 years, neither did she. Final line. Love ended long before the toast. I simply waited for her to hear it too.